Hey everyone, thanks for joining this week's episode of Circus of Time Review podcast, where this week we're going to be jumping back into hyperspace to talk everything that is the recent Star Wars movie news on, of course, the day that is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with everybody, and May the 4th be with the two guests that I have. We have actually a special guest. We have two guests, and then we also have my boyish goatee joining us today, so try not to be distracted by that today. But the first guest we have coming up, you can find him on his own YouTube channel where he does his movie reviews, comic book stuff, his unboxing, and some of his music himself. You can find him on his YouTube channel doing all that. So go look at Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. We welcome him to the show. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Good, good. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. We just found out that Matt and I are in the same Denver area, so we might have seen a little bit more of us around. So welcome, sir. It's good to hear we have somebody else in the Denver area I can chat it up with about this kind of stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then the next guy we have on, you find him on his YouTube channel as well, doing his knee-jerk movie and TV reviews, but you can also find him doing his top five reasons why movies suck, which I recommend you go check out. And we have Bob from Organized Chaos. Welcome back, Bob, or welcome to the show, Bob.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
It's good to have you. Good to have you. Like I said, I was checking out some of you guys' videos. Definitely some good stuff, so everyone go check that out. But what we're here for, we're going to talk about some Star Wars news. A lot's happened since the last time we talked about Star Wars. We did the Force Awakens commentary. Now what we're doing is just basically any recent Star Wars news. So one of the first things that happened after we did the commentary is we had the Rogue One trailer come out. And so we've had about a month or about 3 or 4 weeks now to stew on things that we liked, things that we're speculating, things that we wish we would have seen in this trailer. So just going to start off and just talk about a little bit about the trailer. Matt, what were your first reactions when you saw the Rogue One trailer?
I thought it was freaking awesome. Like, I was blown away every second about it. I love the chick that's the main lead. I can't remember her name, but she was awesome. Just the whole idea of having a non-force-based Star Wars where it's just the grunts and that's the ground forces. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, no, it's good to see because it was the different settings. Like you saw the tropical background, which we hadn't really seen yet in Star Wars. We've seen everything else, every planet rendition of weather, but not like the tropical settings. So that was cool. Like
yeah,
the ground forces. So yeah, no, definitely. Bob, what did you think when you first saw it?
I actually thought it was quite a bit better than the Force Awakens teaser. I love the regular trailers for the Force Awakens, but I was not impressed with that teaser, the one they released like a year before the movie came out. And I was actually quite a bit more impressed with this one. Of course, I think there's a bit, which is probably why. But yeah, I like the aesthetic of it, and Matt just brought up how it's not about Force users, which is fantastic. It's something different we haven't seen from Star Wars.
Yeah, we actually saw a little bit of hand-to-hand combat, which we were seeing, but without a lightsaber, so that was nice to see. Was it Donnie Yen, I believe, is the actor that we've seen do a little bit of hand-to-hand combat there, and then Forrest Whitaker, yeah, is the one who's doing some of the overall narration. So yeah, what about with his involvement in the movie? You think we're trying to keep Star Wars tries to stay away from big-name actors to try to keep people in the movie as opposed to seeing nothing but stars. Do you think Forrest Whitaker might take you out of the movie, even though he's not an A-list, but he's still I think Oscar nominee or Oscar-winning actor? Matt, do you think he'd be a distraction?
I don't think so, because I think he should blend in enough. And I mean, they've always thrown in like 1 or 2 big-name actors. The original Obi-Wan was at the time a kind of a big name, although I'm blanking on his name for whatever reason. But still, I think it'd be all right. I think it'll work out.
Okay. Well, what about you, Bob? What do you think?
I think he's a good enough actor that I kind of don't care, because I mean, he's great as long as it's not Battlefield Earth. I'm game.
the way he looks and the way he walks, you could probably see a little him maybe bringing some of his acting from Battlefield Earth. As long as we don't see John Travolta make an appearance, and I think we'll be all right.
Right.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed the trailer as well. Yeah, don't even get us started with Battlefield Earth. That could be a whole another episode on its own. But yeah, Forrest Whitaker was great. His narration was great. The girl, Jyn Erso, and I forget the actress's name who's playing her. At the end of the trailer, it looks like either she's going undercover with the rebels to find out the plans, or she turns at some point and they need to bring her back. What's your speculation on that? What do you think, Bob? Do you think she's turning, or do you think she's going undercover?
Oh, I'm assuming she's going undercover, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Matt, what about you?
Oh yeah, I think she's going undercover. That seems like the logical way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of that's what they led the whole trailer to. It's like they recruited her from nothing. They were kind of courting her into being part of the Rebel Alliance, and now they're like, hey, and which will lead to the next topic is like you have a connection with us, so we need your help. And so, like I said, that will lead to the next thing, which is news about Rogue One. Some other things came out in the meantime since we last seen the trailer. Was Mads Mikkelsen, I believe the character from not Blacklist. What am I thinking? I can't think of. He was in Casino Royale, the villain, and he was revealing some information in regards to his character's involvement in the movie, where he is going to be playing Jyn Erso's father, who apparently is the architect who he hates what he's become, or who hates what he's planned with the Death Star, so he's helping them get this plans back. So she's helping him. So do you think him revealing that information is too much, like we had with Michael Shannon and Doomsday, when he revealed that he went in for CGI stuff with Doomsday and revealed that Doomsday was in the movie? So did he give away too much, or does it not even matter that he gave away the information? What do you think, Bob?
Well, I don't even know how big a character he is. This isn't a Doomsday drop because we don't really know that much about this at all. So it's I don't consider it much of a reveal at all. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a little. I guess it's just a little more insight. Like this is this situation.
So with this stuff.
Yeah, lots of father-daughter, father-son connections, in the Star Wars universe. So it's not unheard of. So like this would be the connection we see here on the screen here. Matt, what do you think? What do you think? Would it be? Is it not big a deal, or is it something maybe he should have kept under wraps?
No, I think it's going to come up early enough in the movie to where it won't be a big deal. It's not really much of a spoiler. It's just going to be, there. I think we're going to get a different surprise somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like I said, just want to get your guys' take on whether or not that info was, if it's revealing a lot, or if it's just totally nothing. Which I agree with you guys. I think it's probably nothing. He just probably gave a little too much more than they probably would have wanted him to. It's just nothing that was like gonna ruin the movie for anybody. What's up, kitty cat? What's the cat's name?
This is Spumoni the Wonder Cat.
Nice. Stella, she'll be in here wanting to get fed before too long, so I might get a rub on the leg here. So we all have guests. We all have special guests on the show today. So going on to the next Rogue One movie news that we had. The most recent one was we had some confirmation from Pablo Hidalgo, who does a lot of the writing for Star Wars content. He was getting like a big Twitter battle about Snoke, saying that he confirmed basically whether Snoke is going to be in Rogue One, and he went on this Twitter battle with another follower saying that Snoke is not in Rogue One. In no way, shape, or form will he be in there. So I guess what that leads to is like, well, we saw somebody in that big tank in that one scene. So could that be somebody else, the Emperor, somebody else? Who do we think it is? So what, Matt, or I guess Bob, what do you think about Snoke not being in Rogue One?
I'm totally fine with Snoke not being there. I'd prefer not to reveal too much of the mystery before we get further into that trilogy. But like maybe Vader or the Emperor in this movie, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and like I said, I guess this image is not working as well as I thought. It was Pablo Hidalgo's Twitter battle with somebody about him stating everything. He's like, look, we usually they've known, especially J.J. Abrams, for baiting people and saying one thing's gonna happen and nothing, but it's not gonna happen with this one. So I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's Snoke. I think it's my money's on Darth Vader, and I think it's just going to be a glimpse. I don't think he's going to have much of a role, but it's going to be like a nod in that tank type thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of the next thing I wanted to lead into with this one was the Bacta tank or whatever they call it in the Rogue One trailer that you see. no one. I guess the speculation is this could be Darth Vader walking up to maybe the Emperor, or somebody walking up to Darth Vader in there. Who know? I don't know. This is all speculation. But the red guards, the Emperor they're only around when the Emperor is around. So I would assume, that Palpatine, somebody's there. So that's my speculation. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. I don't know who it will be. I think the Emperor or Darth Vader would provide an interesting, just kind of revisiting them again, and they'd be the logical ones to see concerning the time period. I really kind of hope it isn't Snoke, honestly. I don't want to see that much of Snoke before we get further in the trilogy.
Well, especially since this
kind of
one
like a
is,
filler movie, almost, in
yeah,
my
this is
opinion.
before A New Hope, so hopefully it's not, bringing in a character that's supposed to be 60, 70 years later or something already into the story. So yeah, no, I understand. I definitely get where you're coming. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be the Emperor with the red guard there. I still just think it's. I'm leaning towards Darth. It's still going to be Darth.
Do you think he's in the tank, or do you think that's him walking up to the tank?
I think he's in the tank.
You think he's in the tank?
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing. It's like
Watch.
it was such a quick clip in the trailer. It's just like it was such an Easter egg with the red guards. It's like, but not enough information. At least you hang them. But it's exactly what they want to do. They're doing it perfectly. They've been doing it for years. So it's all right. Well, that was basically all the information I had for the Rogue One news since we had the trailer come out in the last 3-4 weeks. The next thing we want to talk about is we're going to go on to Episode 8. We had some behind-the-scenes stuff. We actually had some behind-the-scenes pictures be revealed, and we bring those up here real quick. I think it was Empire or Entertainment Weekly was able to find some pictures or some behind-the-scenes pictures of Millennium Falcon. They had built some of the Michael Skellig Island there, you can see, and you see this tree thing right there. And I'm not sure the significance of this tree, this giant, whatever hollowed-out tree or whatever it is. Here, I'll give you a little bit closer look, and we'll find that real quick. Here we go. Right there. So I'm not sure. Is this kind of like Luke's little? Is this where he sleeps? Is like his little Yoda pad, or is this maybe just, I don't know, just where they train, where Rey's gonna be doing flips everywhere? I don't know. It's a lot of speculation for a piece of bark, but I don't know. We'll see. Matt, what do you think? What do you think this has any significance on what the movie's gonna be about?
It's probably Luke's house where he's hanging out. I mean, the steps lead right up to it, looks like. So I'm going to say Luke's house.
Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility because of the way the shape is. You can have a little sleeping room. He's got his kitchen, but if he opens up a lightsaber in there, that's pretty much over at that point. But yeah, Bob, what do you think?
It's probably Luke's house, but I was just thinking it could be interesting. What if that's like the cave on Dagobah that Yoda warned Luke not to go into? Maybe it could be the equivalent of something like that.
So Rey might see Kylo Ren in her dreams, or in that vision of some sort, or something when she's walking around there. But then you go up and you go up behind it. They're all combining sets, as you can tell. Up top, a little bit up there, I'm not sure if this is going to be like where a Rebel base or something like that, where they'll be filming some background stuff, people running around. But yeah, it seems like they have a couple scenes here. The Michael Skellig Island replication, which I know they made their way back out, but of course, they only have so much time they can spend on the island, so they're not going to be able to get all the shots that they want, so they had to recreate it. So that was one of the big things we want to talk about, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, just speculation on what we're seeing. I generally like seeing behind-the-scenes photos, but for the Star Wars movies, I kind of want to see them later because it kind of takes away when you see it in the movie. You're like, oh, I remember seeing that angle and stuff like that. So I wish sometimes they keep some of the photos under wraps. But the other thing I want to talk about is we had some other news in regards to Rian Johnson, who's part of, who's obviously directing Episode 8. He was just involved in some of the contribution to the new Star Wars canon book, Bloodline. This one is where this novel, I guess, is outlining how Leia got involved with not First Order, but the Resistance, how they got going, how she's involved, where she made her rankings, and her relationship, with Solo, and the secret about Darth Vader. So there's other information in this book. And so his contribution to it, I wonder if it's going to have any effect on the plot of Episode 8, since not you can't, it's canon, but they borrow a lot from the books. They don't take storylines word for word, but they'll borrow little plot details here and there and insert them. So I wonder if his contribution to the book, her with Leia's her involvement with the Resistance, if it's going to have any effect or involvement in his directing. So do you guys think it's going to have any influence on him as well in regards to the storyline, Matt?
I think so. I mean, everything's canon now that's in the extended universe. I guess right now would be a good time. I have a bit up to bring up. I have a problem with Ryan Johnson, and I got a bone to pick with him.
Hey, let's hear it. I gotta see that bone picked. Let's see it.
So Carrie Fisher was supposed to be at Denver Comic-Con this year.
Yes, she canceled, of course.
Yeah, he called her in early, so she's not going to be at Comic-Con. And that's ridiculous, because my enjoyment of Comic-Con supersedes everyone's enjoyment of Star Wars. So he needs to have her come back to Comic-Con so I can hang out with Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, that was a bummer. That was a bummer when I saw that that she wasn't gonna make it. I was like, man, when I saw that announcement, I was like, yes, that's usually they have like one or two. They've got to put a good lineup this year, but when she says she wasn't gonna be there, that was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bob?
I didn't even hear about that, so this is news to me. But that is kind of a bummer.
Evan!
As for the Bloodline thing, yeah, I mean, if it's canon, I don't know how much of a role it will play in the movie. But hopefully, if it's well done, it can be interesting on its own, but not be dependent on the movie at least. But
yeah, I guess
we'll have to see.
Yeah, I guess the way I'm asking is like his contribution, I guess, on how Leia becomes, because they haven't really detailed that at all in The Force Awakens. If they did, it was on the cutting room floor. So maybe in Episode 8 they'll detail her a little more involvement and how the Resistance got going, or just overall her involvement in overall. But I wasn't sure if maybe his contribution, his thoughts and ideas that went into the book. He's like, I'll just use those for the movie too. We'll have a couple scenes showing Leia doing what she did in the book as well. So I wasn't sure if that he might borrow or have any influence on some plot lines. Just a possibility, since of course he's the man helming the next episode. So that was it with Episode 8 in regards to the news for that one. Now moving on, let's see here. We're moving on to just a quick update. I don't know if you guys are fans of Collider movie talk or not, but Christian Harloff was he got a planet named after him. Oops, he got a planet named after him in one of the Star Wars. I think it was Bloodline actually, and so that pretty awesome. He was interviewing the author. I think it's right here. Yeah, he was interviewing the author, and just happened to be like, hey, maybe I should be a character sometime. And of course, if you follow him, he's huge on canon. He knows all the good stuff. Jedi Council and things like that. So I think it's pretty cool that the Star Wars authors are showing fans support by bringing them into the canon one way or the other. So I guess a good question would be, if you guys had something named after you in the Star Wars universe, what would you have named after you, and what would it be? So we'll go with Bob. What would you have named after you, or what would you name after yourself?
I have no idea.
It could be a ship, it could be a planet, it could be a gun, it could be a force power, anything like that. But I'll let you guys stew on that. We'll come back to that question, so just think about that one. But in the meantime, what we'll dive into is the Han Solo news that we have coming. The Han Solo standalone movie coming up over the next I think 2 years, because they're still casting for it. So far, right now we have 3 different actors who are being considered for it. We had Taron Egerton, or Egerton they want to call him. They also have what's his name sorry, I'm trying to read off his name. Dave Franco is also involved as well, but he's not listed here. These other actors that we have, the one from Hail Caesar to the far left, and Alden Ehrenreich, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of his name, and then the other one from the boyfriend from Transformers. So these are the bottom, or the least down to the finalists of being Han Solo. And I think right now, as of right now, the far left actor Alden Ehrenreich has he's the closest at this point to playing Han Solo in the Han Solo standalone movie. So hopefully we'll hear about this soon. But what do you guys think of any of these choices, including Dave Franco, who's not in the top 3 but still in consideration? So Matt, what did you think about these choices?
Well, Dave Franco, I think, would be a terrible choice. That dude's not sober enough or not stoned to act as Han at any point. The dude on the far right there has Harrison Ford's jawline, like almost exactly. I can't remember which one that was, but he looks like Harrison. But I think. Yeah, I don't know who would be a good one. I've been trying to, think about that for a while. I tried to do a push for me to be Han Solo on Twitter, but it never took off. But
it's not over. They still haven't casted it yet.
There we go.
Dreams are still alive.
I mean, it really depends on the director and how he does it. 'Cause like you said, the boyfriend from Transformers is, up for it, and everyone's going to groan at that, but...
Yeah, the actor is actually named Jack Rayner, so sorry for stumbling upon that name. Jack Rayner, yeah, so he's another one. But he was also... I don't know what other movie he's been in other than Transformers.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything else either, but, I mean, he could be good, it's just he was directed by Michael Bay, so, he might have just been bad in Transformers. But...
Yeah, it's true. What about you, Bob? What did you think about any of these actors, and who would you probably think?
The guy on the far right, who is the guy you said that is closest to getting it, is the guy
Alden Ehrenreich.
Not counting Dave Franco. Dave Franco would be terrible. But the other 2 guys, I'd definitely go for Taron Egerton because he's just been awesome in everything I've seen. Jack Rayner might be better, but Transformers was just.
Yeah, I would agree. Transformers wasn't his best work, or nobody in that movie's best work either. So yeah, I agree with you guys. I think the actor, the one who's in the lead for it, Alden Ehrenreich, is pretty good, or pretty solid. He was in Hail Caesar, and also Taron Egerton. I loved him in Kingsman, but I think they say that he's too famous to be considered for the role. That's one of the things holding him back from being considered. So I guess the other actor, Alden, is the one being considered. But it's like, do you think Han Solo? The movie's already wrapped. We know that Han Solo's not going to be making a cameo in Rogue One at all. So when are we going to be introduced to Han Solo? Like, I guess we're not going to have another anthology movie until Han Solo. So there's no introduction like we thought we were going to get in Rogue One. So do you guys think that's going to be a good or bad thing that we have no introduction, and it'll just be as soon as we get the movie, that's the actor we have to deal with?
I think just jumping right into it's gonna work out. Yeah, I think everyone's gonna complain no matter who they cast. It's just how the internet works. But I think just dive right into it. Don't tease it. Let's just wait till the actual movie, and then at least we've seen his full Han Solo-ness.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, that's what that movie's there for, to my understanding. So let's just dive right in, I would think, for that movie.
Yeah, and on top of the casting, some of the other things they've been talking about, some of the plot, some of the storylines they want to talk about. One of the ones is they want to include the 12 parsecs run. They want to include him meeting Chewie, the life debt that Chewie has to Han. So I feel like there's a large gap between the two, so like they'd have to do like a full origin story of Han's life in order to get all this into it. Do you guys think that they should include those type of plot points, or should they create new things that we should learn about Han Solo? Matt, what do you think?
I think some nice hints at a few things, but if they do too much, it starts feeling, you get that bad prequel feel of just like nudge, nudge, wink, wink, like, hey, that was a thing that happens later, remember? So I don't know. I think they got to balance it really well. I do think meeting Chewie would be a good idea, and I think I've heard it might be discussed where it's gonna be like 3 different stories in different timelines within the one movie. So like he'll have a short adventure, skip a few years, have another short adventure kind of thing. And if they do that, I think it'd work out really well.
Yeah, because then that means we'll get to see whatever actor we're not happy with the least amount of time, since he'll probably be only like a third of the movie at that point.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, honestly, like it was brought up being Chewie, and honestly, thinking about it, you could probably make a whole movie about them meeting, and that it would probably be awesome. You know, and then you could also just pick 3 key moments in his life and just make sure to wrap it together tightly at the end. Honestly, all this stuff sounds awesome to me. So.
So you think they should also maybe incorporate both, like older stuff, but also include something newer, like you said, the life dip, and maybe a new adventure as well to kind of mix it up. Not like Matt said, just a bunch of winks from the prequels.
Yeah, I guess try to avoid too many winks. You know? Obviously, a little bit you gotta do. You know.
What does that guy think? What does he think of it?
What do you think, Evan? I don't know.
He's like, he has thumbs down to prequels as well. We're on the same board, no problem. Well, no, that's fine. Yeah, I agree. You know, Han Solo, the movie, it's a touchy subject. Han Solo's been around for a long time, so people are hoping that they get maybe they get the stories that we've heard of Han Solo in film version, or people are like, can we just get new stories? And most people are just like, can we just get not a Han Solo movie? What most people are, and this segues into the next thing, what most people are actually looking to have is a Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and that's something that has kind of been tossed around Disney since they bought Lucasfilm. Or not Lucasfilm, but Star Wars from Lucas. One thing is they're trying to court, Ewan McGregor to come back, and he's been doing a lot of interviews for his other projects, but he keeps getting asked about the Obi-Wan movie, and he's up for it. He just doesn't want Disney to think he's the one campaigning for it. He still wants to know, I do it if you ask me. I'm just not, going to go out of my way to. He's not going to pull like a Ryan Reynolds or Tyrese trying to get the Green Lantern costume. So, what would you guys think of Obi-Wan and with Ewan McGregor? Do you think he'd be good, or would you actually just maybe want another actor to play Obi-Wan in maybe a standalone movie? What do you think, Bob?
I actually would be excited to see him. I actually thought he did a good job in Episode 3, despite the horrendous dialogue he had to read. And I'd be interested to see what he could do with possibly a much better script. So I am completely on board with him, perhaps really kind of, maybe even partially redeeming the prequels to a degree.
Well, he was the only redeeming part of the prequels, so yeah. I mean, who would you consider else if he said no or if he wasn't available? Who would you maybe think would be a good stand-in?
I don't know who else would really fit that role right now. I think honestly, I think they should just. I mean, it's Disney. They can get him in. They can just throw more money in his paycheck.
So you're saying regardless of what happens, he's gonna play. If it happens, he's gonna be Obi-Wan. So no, I agree. I agree. What about you, Matt? What do you think of Ewan McGregor? Do you think he's good, or should somebody else step in?
No, he was, like you guys said, he was one of the few parts of the prequels that worked out, and there's enough storyline between episodes 3 and 4 that we can have, see his transformation from Obi-Wan to Ben Kenobi, and I think it'd be friggin' awesome. I don't know who else could play him. Ewan just really did a great job. So.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see because there's a lot of story in between, when he, dropped Luke off and Tatooine and stuck around. What was he doing that whole time? When he was going on side missions, was he protecting Luke? Where because Vader or not Vader, but like they had to have known that the Empire had to have known that he was going to be there. So. Was Obi-Wan protecting him in certain ways and bringing him back to his home planet? Like things, all kinds of crazy stuff they could write about. They could have maybe more than one movie to develop all this information. But I'm totally agreeing. I'm all for Ewan McGregor coming back. He's for it. Let's get him, pay him. Let's get this wrapped. I'd rather see this than a Han Solo movie. I know we're getting a Han Solo movie, but I'd rather see this. We probably get this like after the 12th episode in like 2030 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but all right. Well, that was the Obi-Wan movie news that I wanted to go over. The next thing that I want to talk about, one of the last things was one of the few news that came out today for May the 4th was some Star Wars movie news from the original trilogy. I guess a former Lucasfilm fan relations manager, Craig Miller, revealed to an article saying that Boba Fett originally was supposed to be like the main villain for Return of the Jedi, and that the confrontation between Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and the Emperor were going to happen on another trilogy that was supposed to happen later. That Lucas totally just he just lost passion for creating it at that point. He just didn't want to do it, so he cut out Boba Fett, which is why he died in the Sarlacc pit, and a whole lot of other shit went a little bit haywire on the plot details from Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi. So this is some pretty crazy stuff to hear about 30 years later, 40 years later, however long. What do you guys think of something like that, hearing that Boba Fett was originally supposed to be the badass we saw him as, but it just didn't turn out that way? Matt, what do you think?
I mean, that sounds about right, because, yeah, he was really built up and then ended up really not doing anything. But I just think, at that time, sequels were really hard to make, so I don't see planning out that far. I think he might have been in an earlier draft, but I don't think they would have planned a second whole trilogy around just Darth and Luke. So there might be some truth to it, but I don't think that's the full thing. But yeah, him being a straight villain in a movie would be great, though.
Well, like I said, this explained a few things in regards to him dying like a bitch in that one scene for the Sarlacc pit, Luke becoming a super Jedi in just a few months, the Death Star already being built. A lot of timeline things are answered when you think about this kind of thing. Also, Leia's role as Luke's sister. I guess that was like there's another line was supposed to be referencing a new character. Apparently, that was supposed to be in the next trilogy that we just talked about, but they're just like, we scrapped this new trilogy. Boba Fett's gone. The other one is going to be Leia, his sister, now. So that's when they had to basically admit to incest at that point in time in the trilogy. So yeah, it's a lot of revealing information. It's crazy that you hear about it this long after, especially when we had so many renditions of the movies come out and so many interviews about Star Wars that you think this guy should have came out a long time ago, but we are just hearing about it now. So it does cause a little speculation on whether how much of it is true, how much of it just maybe exaggerated. I mean, Bob, what would you think about some that Boba Fett information?
I agree. I think it totally explains why he was taken out so casually in Return of the Jedi after kind of getting built up in Empire. But I don't know. There have been so many people who've gone through and retconned his death, and if they really wanted to, if they had good stuff, that'd be probably good stuff to do a Boba Fett movie that takes place between 6 and 7, and say his suit didn't digest well, or whatever they've said in the comic books and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of material that needs to be retconned for anthology movies. They could just go back and fix things like, okay, well, this is what happened actually. This is actually what happened. Instead of letting us, with Boba Fett, they could go back, or other things in the trilogy that didn't add up. They could be like making maybe not a whole anthology movie about each item, but consolidate them and answer some questions that were unanswered. So I think that'd be cool. If they maybe try to bring Boba Fett back, and probably maybe in Rogue One I think we're supposed to see him, so it's a possibility. So they'll probably build him up as a badass there, just so we all know how he's going to end. So that's the underlying truth of this, is that we don't know if it's true. We just can speculate on the news, and we'll see. But yeah, that was all the news that I have. Do you guys have anything else that you want to go over that we didn't?
It's not really news, but Daisy Ridley did a cool little video for May the 4th, and that was pretty awesome.
She did. I saw that. The best part was when she opened the gift from John Boyega, and it says a doll of himself. She's like, "Yep, that's about right."
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I like that, and it's cool that they keep doing those charity things. J.J. Abrams did it last year for The Force Awakens. She'll do it for this one. I wonder who he'll do it for Episode 9. So, no, I do like that they keep doing this kind of thing, especially since Star Wars is such a broad and loved thing that it reaches a lot of people when they do that kind of thing. So, yeah, I thought that was cool when I saw them do that. I'm sure they'll do more, but she's watching her act in that too. He's just like she's so natural at that kind of thing too. It wasn't like watching an infomercial, some robot do it.
Yeah, no, she's good. She's really into it. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, Bob, anything else from you?
Nothing much. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we were able to get through all this. We did it in a nice, timely manner, so we're all able to get back and do our things. It's still daylight out here. Some might actually go get on the bike before it gets dark. Who knows? But yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the episode this week, and also to my two guests for joining the show today as well. We'll be tuning in. We'll be doing some more podcasts as we come along. So stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter for that. But as always, I want to make sure everyone can find my two guests online so you can follow and sub to their channels. So, Matt, let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, my Twitter handle is wizard_Matt, and that's where I update everything. I'm really active on it. And just my YouTube channel. If you Google, I recently found out today, if you Google Sexy Matt, I'm now the second result.
Yes. Bucket list checked.
Nice.
So yeah, check out my channel there, and yeah, there's links all over my Twitter. That's the best way to harass me is Twitter.
Cool. You got any upcoming videos, projects you want to promote real quick?
I'm going to be doing a haul video for Free Comic Book Day, so that should be fun. That's this Saturday. If everyone wants free comics, go to your local comic shop on Saturday.
Which one are you going to?
Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics down in Arvada.
Okay, nice.
That's my usual spot. And then, yeah, just my Civil War review will be out this weekend as well.
Yeah,
so,
like all of us old schmoes, we had to wait a month after everybody else got to see the movie and do a review of it. So
Yeah.
we're seeing it this week as well. Well, great. Well, everyone go check out his channel, check out his upcoming videos as well. Bob, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I have a nature. You can find me on Twitter at @OrChaosForever, and if you just do a YouTube search for Organized Chaos Productions, it should pop up really fast. I think you'll find the channel pretty fast. So yeah, Organized Chaos Productions, mostly doing comic books. Whatever the big movie is, I'll try to do something on it.
Nice. Well, yeah, I definitely recommend everyone go check out both videos. Like Matt, I love your top 10 third installments, and Bob, your top 5 reasons why movies suck. Those are great as well. So everyone go check those out. I do advise. For myself, you can follow me or find me on YouTube at Circus of Time Review or on Twitter at Circus of Time. I'll be of course, be doing the podcast on a weekly basis and also pumping out. We're doing some mini celeb bio video. So the next one's going to be Jim Varney, the one and only Ernest. So be on the lookout. The next few days we'll be getting a little bio video out for Ernest. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, go ahead and follow and sub my two guests today. I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank everyone for checking out the show today. And yeah, until next time, everyone be excellent to each other, and may the 4th be with you. See you guys later.